Um, let me teach atheists some logic, man. This guy has almost sorry about that. This guy has almost the same argument as as atheists who says that the Gospels was written after the fact. It's, how dumb are atheists, man? You have to be dumb to be atheist. Uh, I'm not trying to offend anyone, but it's unbelievable, man. The stupidity that comes from atheists. Um, of course, the history is written after the fact. It's it's so obvious, man. Of course, the history is not written as it's happening. So rare, and history is written usually based on someone who didn't even witness the event or didn't witness the whole thing. Usually, it's based on the book is written based on eyewitness of other people. It's same thing as Gospels. And this guy said the four most important Gospels are Mark, Luke, John, and Matthew. The strange thing is that their identity are yet to be verified. I mean, of course uh, the when you read in a history book like Gospels, you don't start with I, John, or I, Mark, like the letters of Paul, the Paul from the Bible who wrote many letters. Yeah, he started as I, Paul. Of course, the Mark is not going to start as I, Mark. No, it's going to cover history. He also said, one who have thought people who actually met Jesus will have written about him rather than for anonymous. They met Jesus, but Jesus, there's so many things that Mark, Luke, John weren't there to witness, weren't there to write. Yeah, many things they're not there. They're not everywhere. They're not omnipresent. They were not everywhere. They had to rely on eyewitness, and of course they also the perspective of every angle for what is happening. Um, lack of let me see my answer right here. Are you saying if you and I wrote books about an event which we witnessed and also based on information of others who witness it, would start as I or our work would have the same details word to word, and there would be no different in details unless we copy from each other. What I'm saying here is the when this is what gospel is actually real events is for the fact there's certain details in the gospels for them, different details, like sometimes they don't match it totally equally, like there's some difference between gospels. um, this is what they expect from a real event covered by many different historians who didn't copy from each other. This is one evidence that what happened to Jesus was real. Not because I have doubt about that, but for people who have doubt. This is one evidence. If they copy from each other, if it was not real events, expects their work to be the same. No difference whatsoever, word by word to be the same. But this difference in the Gospels is because it was a real event covered by many different people. And why God wants four Gospels in the Bible is to leave people without excuse, to leave human beings without excuse. For an atheist out there, a history is written after the fact. If there's many books of history of the same event and they match word by word, they're not real. They were copied from each other. In many cases, maybe they didn't even cover a real event. But especially if they match word by word, they were copied from each other. They're not legit. Also right here, you don't see that there's some detail contradicts or some have more details than others. Actually proved they cover real events. If an event is covered by many which don't copy from each other, expect their works to be equal in general but with some different details.